Be sure to hurry up and order all your Dragon Ball Figuarts at Big Bad Toy Stores. The link in the description down below, because they are going fast. Dragon Ball, Pokemon, Kaiju, and more. It's Steven's Toy Reviews. Hello there, collectors. It is Steven here, and today I am bringing you a review of the World Martial Arts Champ, Mr. Satan, or Hercule, or Mark, or whatever you want to call him, because, let's face it, if you grew up watching Dragon Ball Z, it's Hercule. But if you read the manga, it's Mr. Satan. Or if you're watching Super, or you grew up and you finally realize it's Mr. Satan, you're going to call him a whole bunch of different names. But anyway, this is the Figuarts Mr. Satan. We have a figure of the World Champ. And gotta be honest with you here, it's kind of mixed for some folks. Why? There are a couple of quality control issues, but it's Mr. Satan. So enough of the jibber jabber, enough of the hype. Let's take a look to see whether or not he's worth adding into your collection. If there's one thing that I really appreciate about this figure, it's the comical nature that this figure has. Mr. Satan is super duper hairy in the anime and in the manga, and Bandai definitely did a fantastic job of translating that over to this figure. Whether it's going to be the little dots for his stubble on the face, or it's going to be the overly thick lines for the hair on his chest and his forearms, they really knocked it out of the park. They also did a fantastic job of sculpting that hair to make it look nice and thick and wavy. Good job there. Clothing also looks on point, so this way it does look realistic and look like it's flowing, almost as if he's in combat. As you'll soon see, his cape looks great as well, and overall, for the most part, the paint is pretty sweet. There are a couple of quality control issues with overspray on a couple of the faceplates, as you'll see, but there is one issue that Bandai has not sorted out yet from a previously released figure, which is still going on, and that is casting a chest piece in a different color and then painting over it. That's right, Mr. Satan has the Gotenks syndrome. As you'll be able to clearly see, his chest for the flesh color looks almost orange, which does not match up with the rest of the figure, which really is kind of a bummer, because that is the biggest thing that's wrong with this figure. Everything else is just very small and will only upset a few collectors. So yeah, that is definitely going to ping on quite a few more collectors' radar. So if they would have fixed that, it would have been awesome. But that issue aside, Bandai did really nice on making this figure not only look good in all other departments of quality control, but it is very, very true to the spirit of Mr. Satan. Now, Mark's articulation, well, it's not necessarily super amazing, or I would say on par with something like Goku here. Reason being is that, well, unfortunately, you have some things like design, like let's say the rest of his clothing here, that do block the articulation, and then Bandai decided to, well, you'll see. So what do we have? Well, the head, neck area, that's perfectly fine. We have a ball joint here, along with a couple of other joints. I think we're going to have a hinge and another ball joint, so we have a barbell style or double access ball joint. So this way we can get some nice movement there, and then we have a ball joint here where the neck plugs into the body. So Mr. Satan is going to look in all sorts of directions, and despite the fact that his head and, massive chin are going to be shaped a little weird just because of the hair and the massive chin, he can actually look up and look down pretty far, so that is awesome, and that actually does give me some hope for Evil Boo. So pretty cool there. He can look in all sorts of directions. Now when we get over to the arms, we do have butterfly hinges for the shoulders, which are awesome. We do have the typical hinges that are going to be found in the shoulders themselves, and they are also on ball joints, so this way we can spin them around. We do have true blue bicep swivel cuts here, so this way you can spin the arms around, very similar to Master Roshi in design. And then here is where Bandai really screwed up. As you can clearly see here, on Goku, we do have double hinges for the elbows, which work really well. For Mr. Satan, we do have the double hinge, and that is the extent of the range of movement. Really cool for a martial arts master. Yeah, right? Yeah, not very cool. Not very cool at all. So that is definitely going to limit some poses. Also, because his hands are so big, Unfortunately, it's going to limit the range of movement when you go to move the hands at the wrists a bit, but realistically speaking, not too much. As long as you are creative, you're going to be able to get around that. But unfortunately, the elbow situation, it will limit some poses. But thankfully, we do have a ball jointed ab crunch, which actually does feature a hinge. So this way, if you want to pop them out a little bit, I am obviously exaggerating that range of movement. You will be able to do so. So that is pretty cool. We do also have a ball jointed waist. So this way we get a little bit more movement and we can spin them around from side to side. We do have the 2.0 style Figuarts hips, which feature a swivel out to the side and forward and back. So Mr. Satan's range of movement forward is about that far and out about that far without really pushing it and potentially causing damage here. We do have thigh swivels as usual. We do have double hinged knees, as you can see here. That's about the range of movement. Similar to Vegeta and Goku, we are going to have barbell style ankle rockers, but here they actually really work well. You're going to be able to actually see the peg there for the ball joint, so that's cool. So yeah, these ankles actually really do work. Very nice. Actually, at some points, it's difficult for me to move the ankles back into neutral position, so that's cool. We do also have toe hinges that really work well. They harken back to the old Ultra Act toe hinges that could really go up at basically 90 degrees for some of them. This one, I believe it was actually stuck with paint, so do be careful there. So overall for articulation without the cape, Mr. Satan, yeah, he can actually move pretty well in most cases, but unfortunately due to design or just a bad choice by Bandai, you're going to have to get creative with some poses. Now, if you think of Hercule overall in the Dragon Ball history, he definitely comes across as a comedy relief character, whether it's going to be having a device that can blow a character up, or it's going to be a jetpack so this way he can fly around fighting with the other characters. Bandai did a nice job representing the core accessories that Hercule would need, and in this release, he comes with 3 faceplates. He's going to come with 2 other matching sets of hands. He's going to come with 1 left hand to point, 1 right hand for a thumbs up or thumbs down, 2 interchangeable champion or title belts, 1 interchangeable belt, so this way he can change into karate fighting gear, his cape, and B. Let's take a look at the accessories. First and foremost, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the faceplates, where he's going to come with 1 faceplate where the eyes are popping out of his head. He's going to come with 1 screaming champion fighting face, and then another one, which is another yelling face, but realistically speaking, in some of the promotional pictures, he's using this as sort of a happy face. So, yeah. The way that these faceplates work to swap them out is you just slide them down and then slide the new one back in. Taking a look at the different belts that Mr. Satan comes with, he's going to come with 1 belt that, as you already saw, was the champion belt with the bat on it, but he does come with a belt that has a bird on it of some kind. He used this belt during the Cell games. Then he comes with that karate belt, so this way he can do some kung fu with the other characters on your shelf. As of note, that champion belt was used during the Buu saga. At least that's what I've been seeing. Now, the way that you swap them out is kind of simple, but do be careful you don't break anything. Just simply grab Mr. Satan's torso and lower half firmly, pop them apart, and then just put in the belt where you would obviously put it. Then just reattach everything. Just note how the connection looks, and you will be good to go. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the hands. Mr. Satan comes with a set of splayed hands, which is really cool, so this way he can do something with them, whatever he would like him to do. He comes with 2 peace hands, or V for victory, or if you're in the UK, I do apologize for offending you hands. And then he comes with, as I mentioned, 1 left hand to point, and the other one for a thumbs up or thumbs down. Pretty expressive. Now he does also come with his cape, or his mantle, as Bandai likes to refer to these as. The way that you swap this out is you're just going to have to pop off Mr. Satan's head and neck connection. Default out of the box, he does come with this, but I consider this an accessory. Now he also comes with one little plug to plug up the hole in his back, so if you already have that in, or you don't, you're just going to have to pop that in, and you can just pop that out again, and then you just line up the plug in the cape with the hole in his back, then just put the head and neck back on and you're good to go. Now overall, the cape does look very, very nice. The back of it has a nice purple spray to it to really bring out some of the details, and it does very much so look like it's flowing. Bandai did a great job here. Now everyone's going to want to know, once you have the cape on, how does it hinder the articulation? Because it almost always does for other characters. Well, surprisingly for the arms, only backwards movement. For the head, looking left and right, but even then, if you are creative and you really work those joints, yeah, he can pretty much look all the way left and right. Just be careful of paint transfer or scraping of paint. You don't really want to do that, so I would not recommend being rough with that. I would definitely recommend you are going to make sure you have clearance there. But then again, do be careful of the hair not scraping up against the cape at all. And then if you're really careful, that is about how far up Mr. Satan is going to look because of his big ol' hair. So yeah, just be careful there. Of course, if you're going, that's just with that joint. But if you're going to use the other joints, like let's say his ab crunch or his waist joint, you can get him to look up a bit more. Of course, if you play with his legs a bit. Now, stability, what are we looking at here? Well, this is a rubber-like material, so you are gonna have to play with his feet a bit in order to get him to pose in like a power pose, right? Or else he will fall over. So you are going to have to really use those ankle joints, which thankfully, as I showed you earlier, are really nice. So overall, yes, this is going to hinder articulation. It will add some weight to his back end, but it's nothing that you won't be able to handle if you know what you're doing. Now we're going to take a look at the creme de la creme here for accessories, and he comes with B. It's so nice, really, to see that these characters are coming with other side characters that are very small, similar to Yamcha and the Cybermen. That was a fantastic idea. It's good to see that it has continued over here. Unfortunately, B does have a couple of small splotches of paint here and there, but you know what? He's kind of small, and he is not going to be the center of your display. So I guess it's okay. Now, B does come with one single point of articulation, and that is the neck is going to be on a ball joint. So overall, Mr. Satan does come with plenty of accessories at the $65 or so price tag, but to be honest with you, he definitely could have come with more. I'm not saying that he should have, but Bandai had plenty of other options for accessories, whether it would be, like I made mention, a bomb of some sort, whether or not it would be a jetpack, or maybe a microphone and a microphone holding hand. Who knows? Maybe Bandai could definitely do a Mr. Satan exclusive accessory pack down the line, maybe with new arms to fix that articulation. But anyway, if you're looking for stands or effect parts to go with Mr. Satan, you know I have videos for those to help you out. So check them out if you're interested. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to the end of the video with a size comparison for you, so this way you can see how big Mr. Satan is. Some folks are saying that the scaling is off, but you know, you can't please everyone. To be honest with you, I think Mr. Satan will fit in well with any Dragon Ball Figuarts display you have going on right now, except the OG Dragon Ball. So, buy now, skip, or wait for a deal. On a subjective level, I think that Mr. Satan has one too many issues for the price tag of about $65. I do think the quality controls should definitely be tightened up, and Bandai should have put more effort into the articulation. I'm kind of lukewarm on this release personally. On an objective level, the only main issues that Mr. Satan has was a slightly orange chest tone for the flesh color, and the elbows are limited. Other than that, he comes with plenty of accessories which pretty much justify the $65 price tag, and this is going to be one kind of character I don't foresee Bandai releasing again, at least under the Dragon Ball umbrella, again anytime soon. So if you're looking to get this guy, he won't be reissued anytime in the near future. He is a P Bandai web exclusive, which was brought over thanks to Bluefin. So, yeah, get this guy sooner rather than later. And you know I got links in the description. Overall, Mr. Satan is definitely a fun figure, extremely photogenic. I have plenty of pictures of this guy taken up on my Patreon. You are not going to want to miss out on this guy if you love taking pics of your action figures. I highly recommend this guy to pretty much everyone. Well, collectors, that brings us to the end of the video today, and I just wanted to take a second to thank you so much for watching. Now you've heard a lot from me, I'd like to hear a little bit from you. Drop in the comments down below whether or not you liked it, you hated it, or maybe you were somewhere in between. I also want to take an extra second here for a nice, humongous thank you to all the patrons for SDR over the last month who have really helped the channel grow into what it can be today. So to all of you, 2 big thumbs up. Thank you very much. And now the end card should be popping up, which will give you a few clickable links, like maybe to subscribe or head on over to my Patreon, or some short URLs like to my social media or to my Teespring store. There's also a video I hand-selected for you, so if you want to watch another STR video, I hand-selected some good content for you to watch, so definitely check out that video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll catch ya in the next video.